office hours at least once. And if you haven't, I highly, highly recommend it. It's such a good opportunity to meet fellow Fringers, network, make friends, ask questions in person, pass out your show card, whatever you want to do. We highly encourage people to come to as many of these as they can, because it's just so fun to get to know people before Fringe. And I'm sure if any of you have been going, you've seen the group is just growing and growing and growing, and people are making more and more friends. And it's just a super fun way to market your show. So yesterday was Wednesday. Yesterday was our last office hours at St. Felix. And from now on, we will be at Fringe Central. So that's very exciting. We just announced our Fringe Central location. We are at Ovation Hollywood, which is at Hollywood and Highland, which gives us an audience-facing space for Fringe Central, which we're super excited about. So this has our in-person box office and our merch shop and special events like Fringe Cabarets and our artist bar and our industry bar and different mixers and all of that kind of stuff. And we have a really cool event schedule that I highly recommend you check out. I'm going to talk about some of those specific industry events as I get into the industry program today, but there's just some really cool opportunities for artists there. So I highly, highly recommend coming to check it out. We are officially open May 15th through June 30th. So being open before the festival is super cool because we have a bunch of pre-festival events for you all. So that's really exciting. Sorry, I had to change my hand. I saw you look at me. Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 5 to 10, and then Saturdays and Sundays from 2 to 10. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 5 to 10, and then Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 10. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of those events, but if you go to hollywoodfringe.org/central, you will find everything about Fringe Central plus the full event schedule. We have all sorts of fun events. It's going to be really cool. And our artist services coordinator, Roddy, has been updating you in your participant newsletter, but what has been built in there is just very, very cool. And I think you're all going to love it. So be really excited about that because it's going to be a really cool space that is going to be really fun during the festival. Okay, so participant packet, I'm sure everybody knows, hollywoodfringe.org/participants. Supportal, support.hollywoodfringe.org. Keep up to date by checking out our blog, hollywoodfringe.org/news. We have stuff on there like resources for artist marketing before and during the festival, that kind of stuff. So just stay up to date on that. I'm sure you're all getting our newsletters by now, but if you're not, make sure to sign up, hollywoodfringe.org/newsletter. And then email us with any questions, support@hollywoodfringe.org. Okay, code of conduct. We're going to continue talking about this as we lead up to the festival. Every single event, we're going to talk about this. So important. As you all know, this festival is built on freedom of expression and lack of censorship, which means we maintain the utmost respect for one another and we create a safe space for people to take risks with their work in our environment. We don't censor your words unless they're actively harmful or hateful towards a protected group. For example, women, people of color, queer and trans folks, disabled folks, deaf folks, fat folks, religious folks. There are limits to this uncensored nature, and that limit is often set by our access committee and enforced by our staff and code of conduct committee. We have a very, very diverse community, one that often has more women and non-binary producing than men. And we attempt to foster a community where those folks do not face all the gendered issues that they typically face in a working environment. We're on a path to make this Fringe a more accessible space for everyone. So this sometimes means that people may use disability-related terms that you're not familiar with, or an interpreter may block your view of a panelist. Use those as learning opportunities. Google terms, move seats, appreciate the privilege that you have not to face these oppressions in other environments. So we are very, very protective of community ethos like these. We reserve the right to ask anyone to leave or take a break from our space if we feel that that is necessary. This is not to scare anyone, as we always say, but to encourage everyone to just take this path with us. This is a promise to those in the room that face these issues outside of this community, and we'll actively work with you to always make sure that these issues are handled. We strive to have a wholly inclusive environment and invite you to come on this journey with us. So, we do not allow microaggressions, verbal and physical intimidation, hate speech, harassment, sexual harassment and assault, excessive consumption of alcohol and other illegal substances, aggressive behavior, disrespectful behavior. So, always, always, always be mindful of intention versus impact. Intent is what you aim to achieve through an action, and impact is how a person or community receives that action. The impact of that action does not always match the intent. Good intentions do not always result in a positive impact, and although our intention is not to hurt someone, our actions sometimes may lead to harm. We always look at the impact of our intentions at Fringe, whether direct or indirect, beyond the original intention, and we take opportunities to become more culturally competent. We also always think about private versus public interactions. So our behaviors and actions and discussions are nuanced between different settings, and sometimes what's appropriate in one setting might not be appropriate in another setting. Especially when you're in a public Fringe space, please keep your interactions appropriate for our community, and please be mindful of how others might be impacted by your behavior. If you do make a mistake, bravely take responsibility for it. Listen and learn. We encourage you to take a deep breath and avoid defensive reactions that come from pride and embarrassment and white supremacy culture. We have a link in our blog, which is at hollywoodfringe.org/conduct, on how to avoid white supremacy culture in your interactions. If any member of Fringe staff comes to you at any time with a complaint, please take it seriously. If our code of conduct is not followed, your time at Fringe may come to an end. Participating in Fringe is a privilege, not a right. But again, we don't say this to scare you. We say this because we want to have a safe and fun festival without these issues. So, let's see. I'm going to move forward to buttons. We have, I'm sure you've heard about the Fringe button. It is a pin that you will get as a primary producer on a show. And you can, if you're not a primary producer on a show, you can purchase a button. So starting next week, we can pick up our Fringe buttons at office hours. Next week's office hours is not the only time you can pick it up. You can pick it up anytime leading up to or during the festival at Fringe Central or at an event hosted by Fringe. So this is your community badge. This gets you a lot of different things. There are two different button types. There's a participant button, which is included with registration, just one. And then there's also participant buttons, which are $3 for members of your production. So if you add those folks to your productions, they can purchase it from their Fringe account for just $3. But as a primary producer, you get one free button. I really want to reiterate that because a lot of times we have folks that will buy a button and they had already gotten a free one, so they didn't need to spend those $3. So if you're the primary producer, just remember that you get a free one. And then there are general buttons, $5, which are designed for audiences. So no matter what, your button gets you $1 off of all tickets, which is the community price. So please honor this at the door if folks show buttons, because that's super important. We want to make sure that everybody's button prices are honored. This also gets you access to Fringe special events like the opening night party and the artist bar and the industry bar at Fringe Central. So at the opening night party, your button is your ticket to get in. So if you show up with your button, you get to go in. If you don't, we sell buttons at the door. And then this also gets you discounts from local businesses, which are our hotspots, which we'll have a full list of on our website. But coffee shops, restaurants, bars, all that kind of stuff, they'll usually give anywhere from 10 to 20% off during the festival. So that's super exciting. We're really grateful for those partnerships because it helps all of us support local businesses during the festival. So we have places like The Plunge, 3 Club, St. Felix, Jesse Boy, and tons more that will offer you those discounts, and we will have those online for you. Okay, let's talk about volunteers. Has anyone in here ever volunteered for Fringe? Yay, cool. So why should you volunteer? You get to attend events, which is really cool. Festival participants who volunteer get kind of like exclusive opportunities to market their shows because you're already there. So you get to have conversations with people about your shows. Professional development, it's really valuable experience. You can practice new skills, make industry connections. You can directly contribute to what we're doing at Fringe. You get free and discounted tickets for volunteers. We have a list of shows that offer free and discounted tickets. And then we have a really fun volunteer appreciation party at the end of the festival that you get an invite to. So who would want to miss that? It's so much fun. And then you get discounts on festival merch. So there are different things that you can do as a volunteer if you're ever interested, or if you know anyone who's interested. So number one is you can be a performer for an opening night kind of immersive experience. Number two, you can pour drinks at special events. Number three, you can support like setup, load in, load out, that kind of stuff for events. And then number four is a Fringe ambassador. So you can find specific dates, learn more about all that kind of stuff at hollywoodfringe.org/volunteer, or contact Wiley at hollywoodfringe.org. He's not here right now, but he would be happy to talk to you about all of that fun stuff. Come on in. Come on in. Okay. Key dates. We know the dates now, but I'm still going to say it. Previews, June 6th through 11th. Opening night party, co-produced with Los Angeles LGBT Center, June 12th. There are no shows that day. June 13th through 30th, the festival. And then July 1st, awards and closing night party. So that leads me to awards, which is so much fun. So we're going to talk a lot about awards and about the industry program today. So I'm going to start with awards because they go parallel with the industry program. But basically there are two types of awards at Fringe. There are community awards and there are Discover Fringe awards. So I'm going to first talk about community awards. Community awards are voted on by the Fringe community and presented at the awards ceremony with like a cute little Fringe trophy. They are divided by category. So they're the same categories every year. There's solo show, immersive show, drama, comedy, top of the Fringe, world premiere, musical and cabaret, dance, international show. Those categories stay the same every year. So if you are a registered Fringe participant, you get to vote on those. You also get to vote on those if you're a venue manager. You also get to vote on those if you're an audience member who sees a certain number of shows. And you also get to vote on those if you leave a certain number of reviews on hollywoodfringe.org. So in the last week of the festival, everybody's going to receive a ballot. And on that ballot, it's going to be a digital ballot in your email. And on that ballot is going to be every show in every category. And you get to decide which shows you want to vote for in every category. You don't have to vote if you don't want to. You can if you want to. Excuse me. So the productions with the most votes in a given category are announced as nominees the day prior to the ceremony, and that in an email newsletter. So everybody will get an email after the voting has closed, and we'll say these are the nominees in each category. And then at the awards ceremony, the ultimate winners will be revealed. And we have a super fun party. It's really great and fun. So those are the community awards. Same every year, never changes. Discover Fringe awards are different every year. These are awards sponsored by outside organizations. So we do not have anything to do with the voting process or the judging process for these awards. These awards tend to be a little bit more specific than community awards, and they may include like a monetary gift or an extension for your show, depending on who the presenter is and what they choose to offer. So next week, we will be making these awards public on our website. So in our newsletter, we've been sending out our pitches to get people to present awards. We've received a bunch of applications. They have certain requirements with how many people need to be on their committees and what a judging committee needs to look like and how these can work. We have received all of those. We're compiling them all on our website, and then next week they will go public. For these awards, different from the community awards, for Discover Fringe Awards, it is up to you as a participant to reach out to those presenters to apply and invite them to your show. So for community awards, yes, you're doing that technically because you want to invite people to your show and you want to be considered for whatever award. But for Discover Fringe Awards, you actually have to seek out the presenters and get them to come to your show. That's super important because I feel like I just want to make that really clear that you do have to reach out. So these awards have specific requirements. Some of them also, like, we're going to announce them on Monday. So on Monday, you're going to get an email and it's going to say the Discover Fringe Awards are now live on the website at this link. Keep checking that throughout the festival because sometimes awards might pop up during the festival that are a late add-on or that decide that they want to present an award. So just know to keep checking the website and know that other awards might end up popping up there and being posted mid-festival. So just be aware of that. These awards have specific requirements, so please pay attention to those requirements. Awards are very, very exciting, and I know that as a participant, you want to be considered for as many awards as possible. But I highly encourage you to just triple check the requirements because you don't want to copy and paste the same exact email that you've sent to one award to another one. And then you don't quite fit the requirements. Oh, come on in. So you don't want to send the exact same message if you don't fit those requirements. It just really read the requirements and make sure that you qualify before you reach out. So, on our website, I think we actually have a blog. I believe I'll have to find the exact link, which I will do. But we actually wrote like a sample email on our blog that you all can use, something similar. And you can just write something like, you can message the presenter. We put their information on the Fringe site when we post those awards. And you can write something like, hey, name, like, I would love to be considered for this award. This is my elevator pitch about my show. I'd love to offer you a comp ticket for this night if you're interested in attending. I'd love to be considered. There you go. It's up to them to decide if they are going to pursue that. And it's up to you to grant them those comp tickets. There's a chance that award presenters might seek you out. It really is up to the individual presenter. And there are so many different awards in different categories with different presenters and judging systems. And so I encourage you to look at all of them. They are very, very awesome this year, and we're very excited about them. So we're really excited for that to come out. I also just want to give a quick reminder that awards are super exciting, and they're such a fun part of the festival. They're also not the whole festival. And don't let the awards portion of Fringe... Oh, come on in. No, you're fine. You're totally fine. Don't let the awards portion of Fringe take over your full experience or stress you out. There are just so many opportunities for success at Fringe and outside of Fringe, outside of these awards. And just don't let it take over your whole Fringe experience because that will become very stressful. And it's just a small piece of the very large Fringe pie. So speaking of opportunities for success outside of awards, that leads me to our industry program. So our industry program is also called Discover Fringe. So we have the Discover Fringe Awards, and then we have Discover Fringe Arts Industry. And it's all about people outside of the festival discovering Fringe and discovering people within Fringe. Because our goal is to help you all take your shows to the next level. So while there's we don't have the power or control to decide what's next for all of the participants. We want to bridge the gap between Fringe and the greater arts community and the theater world. And we want to help bridge that gap so that you all can create connections and relationships with people to hopefully take your shows to the next level after Fringe so that your journey doesn't stop at Fringe. So that's a huge, huge focus of what we do. We want this to be a really safe space for you to grow your artistry and a launching pad for future endeavors. And so this program really speaks to the launch pad part of that mission for us. So the industry program, Discover Fringe Industry Program versus Discover Fringe Awards. The industry program doesn't have as many tangible guarantees as our awards program, but so many opportunities for you to learn and get your name out there and get to know people and think about what's next. So we're trying to involve as many possible people as we can from the arts and entertainment industry so that you all can meet these arts leaders and potentially take your shows beyond the Fringe stages. So this year, that includes several things. That includes the potential to get industry folks to your shows, which works similar to our press program in the way that tickets can be comped and requested. It includes the Discover Fringe Awards, which I just talked about. It includes networking opportunities at Fringe Central. And then new this year, it includes educational panels with these arts leaders. So I'm going to go through these one by one and kind of break down what each of those things mean. So number one, when I say in the industry program, we have the potential to get industry folks at your shows. So there are a whole bunch of people from the arts industry that are active or interested in Fringe, but they're not presenting an award for one reason or another. They can't come to enough shows, or they just different reasons. We are providing access to these folks and their contact information through this industry program. So they will be listed in our system similar to the way that press is listed or awards presenters will be listed when they when in their profiles or if they request a comp ticket. These people will be listed as industry. And we'll have a full list of industry professionals that are available to participants who opt in for more information, so that you can do your research before deciding to accept a comp ticket from somebody who might request it to your show. So how do you opt in? We are going to be sending a form in the next couple weeks, basically asking if you want to opt in to the industry program and get all of the information about these contacts and what they do and what they might be looking for. If you make that step and you opt in for that, you'll get more information. You'll get access to contact information for these people who have opted into this program on the industry side, and you can choose to reach out and invite them to your show, get to know them, set up a meeting, whatever it is that you might want to do. So remember, these people are not guaranteeing that they can offer something tangible, but they're definitely connected in the arts industry and they're interested in Fringe in general. So they're great people to know. With that said, I also want to make really clear that you do not have to say yes to every comp ticket request that comes your way. You can absolutely say no to comp tickets if you don't think that it makes sense for you. You are in charge of your production, and if somebody's requesting comps and that doesn't make sense for you, you can always politely decline. Do not ever let somebody make you feel pressured that you have to offer them comp tickets if that doesn't make sense for you. By all means, if you want to, go for it. It's entirely up to you. Just know that that is your decision with your production, and it's not anyone else's decision other than yours. Okay, so that's number one, getting industry folks to your shows. Number two, Discover Fringe Awards. We already talked about that. We have the two different categories. We have the Community Awards and the Discover Fringe Awards. Information next week. keep your eyes peeled on your emails for information on the Discover Fringe Awards. You have to apply to those yourself. We've gone through that, and we'll get to questions on that shortly if you have any. I do just want to make a quick note, though. Award presenters and judges will be listed clearly in the system as presenter or judge, so that if they do request comp tickets, you'll know what they're requesting for. Okay. So the next thing, in addition to awards, is networking opportunities at Fringe Central. So come on in. Come in. No, you're fine. Okay, so as we know, Fringe Central is opening on May 15th. We're going to have all sorts of events throughout the festival. We're going to have press events. We're going to have artist networking. We're going to have cabarets, all that kind of stuff. We will also be inviting industry folks to things like cabarets and events like that. But there are structured industry events that we're building into this Fringe Central event so that it is curated time with these folks. So on May 23rd, we're hosting an arts fair at Fringe Central, where you can come and meet different orgs and learn about what they do. May 23rd. You can come learn about what they do, ask them questions, all that kind of stuff. As I mentioned, we're also inviting industry folks to cabaret events, other Fringe Central events. There's no guarantee about who will be at those. Similar to our press event, which we talked about, I think, in the last town hall. We invite those folks to these events. There's no guarantee for, cabarets and those types of things who will be there, but they are invited. But then, in addition to that networking time and those kind of one-off invites, we have structured educational panels this year with industry. So this is happening during the festival. Actually, there's one happening before. And we have some awesome folks confirmed for a few different panels on 3 different dates. We already have some people confirmed from places like East West Players, Celebration Theater, IAMA, Soho Playhouse, and we have a few more that will be confirmed as well, plus the award presenters. But the dates to be aware of for those are Thursday, May 30th from 7 to 9 p.m. This will be a panel called How to Take Your Fringe Show to the Next Level. So we'll have a couple industry folks on that panel. It'll be similar to some of our workshops that we'll moderate and ask them questions, and then we'll have a Q&A followed by networking. So highly, highly recommend that one. On Thursday, June 6th from 7 to 9 p.m., we're going to have a panel that is all about awards and meet the sponsored award presenters. So we're going to get as many of I said sponsored awards. That is what Discover Fringe Awards used to be called. Meet the Discover Fringe Award presenters. So we're going to invite those folks and they can talk about their awards. You can ask them questions about their awards, and then there will be networking after. So that one is Thursday, June 6th from 7 to 9 p.m. And then the last one is Thursday, June 27th from 7 to 9 p.m. And this one is going to be called What's Next After Fringe. So those will all happen at Fringe Central, May 30th, June 6th, June 27th. Those are all going to be very, very fun panels, free-flowing conversation about some of the kind of realistic entry points into the arts industry after Fringe, from experts that have done Fringe, experts that have not done Fringe, people from different organizations that I think will be really beneficial. So definitely plan on attending those if you can. And the awards panel is really great because you can meet some of those folks. One thing, and then I'm going to get to questions in a second. One thing that I just realized I did not mention is deadlines for awards. So as we discussed, community awards, the deadlines, there's going to be a deadline, but it's at the very end of the festival. You're going to get all that information when you get your ballot at the end of the festival. So don't worry about voting on community awards until you get the ballot, and you will have a very clear deadline. The other the Discover Fringe Awards, they may have specific deadlines depending on the award. So when I encourage you to look at the requirements, I also encourage you to look if there is a deadline and or ask the presenter if they need any type of application or something. Some of them might be focused on writing, so you might need to submit a script to them. There are just all sorts of different requirements that they might need for those awards, so just make sure to really pay attention to those and any deadlines that they may set. But there are not necessarily deadlines for those. I just highly recommend reaching out as soon as you are ready to do so if you think that you meet those requirements. Okay, I feel like I've just given you so much information. And I also forgot to mention, Lois and Ellen are going to be here very soon to cover a couple other topics. But I just wanted to cover industry and awards because it's something that I work so closely with. So there are a few more things that we're going to talk about after this, like safety and support. And I think Lois is going to talk about the guide. But I just wanted to talk about industry and awards. So if you have questions about anything that I've said about awards or industry, let's do it now. And let's do your show, your name and your show name so that everybody can hear about each other's shows.
Hi, I'm Nicole and my show is called Legacy of War. You mentioned the judges going to be reaching out for comps. Mm-hmm. So should we block a couple of tickets for all our shows?
It's entirely up to you. In our marketing panel, the panelists had recommended just holding a couple seats just in case. It's entirely up to you how many you want to block off, but it's certainly not a bad idea if you feel like you're selling out and you might need to hold a couple seats, you can hold those just in case.
Do the judges have like a time when they reach out, or?
So they'll have access in the system if they're a judge. So basically when an award is proposed to us, we get a list of those presenters, of course, who submitted those award applications and anyone who will be judging their award. And they get access in our system where when they go to like see a show, they can request a comp ticket as an industry member. So it'll be very clear to you that it's an award presenter or an industry member that is requesting that comp ticket. Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hi, my name is Janya. My show is called Convenience. And my question is, I just want you to clear up the difference between a judge and a presenter for me, because I'm...
Totally. So presenters are the people who are managing the entire award. So they submit the application for the award. They organize the reward that comes with it. They manage the shows that are applying. So like when, if you were to apply, when you look at the applications, when they eventually become available, there will be a person to contact for more information. That person, we require that there are at least 3 people on a judging panel for these awards so that we can make sure that our award system is very equitable. And so judges are people that those people bring in to help them see the shows that have applied and are going to be considered for the award so that they have multiple perspectives and it's not just one person deciding on an award.
And would it be ideal for these judges or to like keep tickets separate for the preview for these judges to come to, or any show would be?
It really depends. A lot of these people are seeing shows like all throughout Fringe. So it really depends. And like, I know that as they build their schedules, things fluctuate and you might have things change. It really depends. Some early, they're actually to their awards. Like, also, previews are still early in the game where I feel like it kind of happens all throughout. It's necessarily has to happen during previews.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
My name's Hike. My show is Best Dad Never. It's not ready for this year. I'm aiming for next year. Oh. First question, will the industry panels be taped like this workshop?
I believe that is actually a really Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I believe we are. Let me confirm that for you. Great question.
Second question. I expect to expend a lot of energy working to get butts in seats at my show. I can't imagine refusing a request for comp tickets by an industry professional. Can you give a circumstance or an example of when saying no makes sense?
Yeah, I guess it just really depends. Like if you think that what that person might, the opportunity that that person might be seeking you out for, that you might not be able to fulfill that. If if somebody reaches out and says like, I'm scouting international work and you're not somebody who wants to take your show internationally, that might be something that you'd say no to. Yeah. Just make sure that it's an opportunity that you would actually be interested in.
Hello, my name is Abel. My show is Kosher Salt. I'm going to solve anti-Semitism in 45 minutes. I am wearing a lizard outfit, red sequin pants, and a lizard hat.
It's a wonderful costume. You're going to get a zoom in and everything.
Hi, Carly.
Hello.
Hi. So you talked about...
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you about my mother. She was a lizard from space.
Mm-hmm.
My father was also a lizard from space.
Wow.
Yeah. So my question is this.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about how you can opt in to this list, this access list. By opting into that list, does that then show these people on the other side of the list that you want your show to be seen by them?
No, that's just giving you access to the packet of their information. We just want, it's really hard to just widely share that with everyone. So we want to make sure that those folks who are ready to commit to actually putting in the work to create the relationship with those folks. It's just like a little extra step to make sure.
Okay, so they can still come and see your show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, my name is Karen Hall. My show is Delusions and Grandeur, the show at the cello. My question was also about opting in, but I figured I'd just plug my show anyway.
I love it.
Thank you for answering that.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Becca Lustgarten. My show is Dear Auntie B, and I'm not wearing my full costume. That's a part of it. It's a New York City dating advice columnist. It's based on my actual aunt, so come and see if the impression is worth it. Here's my question. So, oh my gosh, did I just forget it? No. Oh, I know what it is. As the primary contact on the show's page, I understand that requests for comps automatically come to me, right? Mm-hmm. And forgive me if this has been asked in the past. I feel like it's come up before, but is there a way to make sure that it goes to, say, my director, for example, if I don't necessarily want to maybe know?
That's a really good question. I want to bring that up when Lois gets here because that's a website question.
Yeah.
Because you might have to make that person primary. Yeah.
I see. So you'd have to sort of swap on the admin
I believe
side.
so, but let's bring that up when Lois gets here in like 5 minutes because that's a website tech question that I don't do.
I appreciate that. Thank
Yeah.
you. Right. That's how I remember it coming up in conversations about box office, but I just wanted to know if it was the same deal. It just always goes to you no matter what, all the comp requests.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll deal with it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Liza Dealey Thomason. My musical is called Supernova, Spiritual Death of a Hot Mess, exploring the journey after multiple tragedies, learning to turn away from weed, wine, and wiener and choose peace and well-being. My question is, as someone who's new to PR and marketing and in process of hiring a publicist, when we opt in and we sign up for these things, and one of our huge intentions is to use this as a platform to launch into nourishing and bridging the gap between other artists and things like that outside of Fringe. Do you recommend everything kind of going through, if we do hire a publicist, so we're not bombarding them with our publicist and us, if we kind of direct our publicist to be the mediator for all those contacts? Do you recommend the first email when we get said email to be a Google Doc of our press release and a, hey, how are you? I have a Fringe. Like, as people who've been doing this festival, I'm curious, what are kind of the proven and most beneficial tactics when we get this for those of us who are a little clueless?
Yeah, I think it's really, really effective to reach out yourself and introduce yourself to these people and invite them to your show. I think that it's especially like something that you're producing yourself. I just think that that's so effective when you're talking to these people. And I think that you will be able to talk about your show in a different way that other people might not be able to. I think that for press purposes, I think that that's different. But I think with folks that, like, I think that a publicist is different when it comes to press. But I think that with folks that might be a resource for taking your show to the next level, I think that you are the person who can make that happen the most effectively. That would be my advice. But I think that everyone does that differently. I think it's all like what works for you. And I don't think that there's a right or a wrong answer to doing that. But I think that you can sell your show probably the best. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tony Bartoloni. My show is called This Is Art. It says it on my hat. My question was about, you mentioned an industry mixer. I forget what you called it.
Our art fair on May 23rd.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to check the date.
Oh, yes. So let me go through the dates one more time, just in case.
Yeah.
So we have May 23rd, we're hosting an arts fair at Fringe Central where you can just meet people, super casual, just talk to them, find out what they do, get to know them. Then the more structured panels are Thursday, May 30th from 7 to 9 p.m., how to take your Fringe show to the next level. Thursday, June 6th from 7 to 9 p.m., all about awards. And Thursday, June 27th, 7 to 9 p.m., what's next after Fringe. So that's May 23rd, 7 to 9. All of those are 7 to 9 p.m. Yes. May 23rd, May 30th, June 6th, and June 27th from 7 to 9. HollywoodFringe.org/central. And there's a link to all of the events.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Jackie. My show is called Hold Me Down. It's a one-woman musical about finding freedom through bondage and BDSM exploration. And my question is, how busy should we expect to be in July after the main festival ends? I guess I don't know what's typical from the opportunities that come our way and what the Hollywood Fringe Fest coordinates beyond that, and like the encore stuff, all of that stuff.
Yeah, I think that that's a really good question. I think you get, this is what you put into it. And so it just really depends what opportunities you seek out and what ends up falling into place. And some of these opportunities end up being things like runs, or some of the opportunities might have consulting sessions and things like that. But I don't think that there's like necessarily a textbook answer for how busy you'll be, because I think it's really just going to be like by case basis, depending on what comes up for your specific show, based on how many people you meet and what kind of comes to fruition. So
like
I can't give like a specific answer, but it just really depends on kind of what happens through Fringe. Yeah.
Gotcha. Because like manifesting this, like let's say your show does really well in Hollywood Fringe Fest, you could book a theater outside of the perimeter of Hollywood Fringe Fest, and like people would want to go there because they've heard of it. Right?
Totally. I would love to manifest that for everybody in this room, really. I would love to manifest that July is so busy for all of you that you don't know what to do with yourselves, and every show is just flourishing and going beyond Fringe. That is our hope. Because like I said, that's what this industry program is all about, is helping you launch into your next opportunities. We don't want your show and your journey to stop here. We want it to flourish beyond. So that's our hope. Yeah.
Hey, my name's Joe Pizzanzio. My show is Game Show. It's a game show where I split the audience in half at the end of the show. You compete against the other side of the audience, and the whole show kind of verges on this chaotic mess, and it's a good time. Question being just interacting with I guess award people. Is it just invite them to the show, give them a nice follow up, thank you for coming to my show, that sort of thing? Any tips or any thing with that? Or
That's a really good question, and I want to give similar advice that we do with press. I think that do your research on these folks for sure. Like I said with award applications, don't just copy and paste the same message to every single person. Really look into what these people do, what types of work they put on their stages, and curate your messaging to them depending on what they do and what you think would be interesting to them. And like we say with press, don't send them a million trillion emails. But I think that that totally makes sense. I think you invite them to your show, you can send them a quick follow-up, get to know them at events, and I think that that's definitely the polite and respectful way to go about it.
Hi, I'm Rachel. My show's Baby. My question was about how do comp ticket requests come our way? Is that through the website and then you get an email?
Through the website and you'll get an email, yes.
Perfect,
so
thanks.
Both. If your email, just make sure that you know which email is connected to your account through the messaging system, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is John. My show is called Black Bastard, about growing up without my father, wanting to meet him, finally meeting him when I was 15 and wishing I hadn't. I have a question about how do you encourage us to ask audiences for reviews? Are there any best practices around that?
I would say as somebody who sees a lot of shows, if you say a little hello when you bow, say it right there. Say, please leave me a review. Like literally just say that when you're taking your bow and when you're talking to people. You can also send a follow-up and it automatically sends an email asking for a review right after your show. So that's a good reminder for people too.
Hi again.
Hi.
My question is, if when it comes to press before the show began, so any kind of news articles, anything that's theater related, what is the typical if there is a typical amount of audience that is attracted due to press in a fringe show, due to press that happens beforehand, before the preview, before everything, and then versus the attraction of post preview conversations and / or press that happens during the show? If there is anything, if there is any sense of I don't know if there's any advice you want to give on that.
Just, do you mean the difference between
press that happens early on, if there's introducing the show beyond fringe goers and beyond networking events and stuff and news articles and other things, interviews, etc., versus press, same news articles, interviews, reviews, stuff like that during after preview or post preview. So where does press have more significance, if there is any?
I think it depends. I think before the festival, I think it's really great to get your press release out there, and anything that you can get from press is great to get the word out about your show. But then I think once press has reviewed your show, it's always really great to get a pull quote or something, because then you can start using that on your marketing. So anything that you can get out of a review, it's really, really great to start marketing your show. Whatever kind of pull quote you can take from that is super, super beneficial. So I think both ways are great, but I think that's why it's really important and exciting to try to get press in for previews, because then you can use that to get people into the rest of your shows.
Okay, thank you.
Can I just throw something out there?
Yes.
I would reach out to local news, to wherever your show may have touched a vein. So if it's a political situation, if it's within that particular mindset, contact people that are at that type of newspaper that agree with you and go, hey, this person with our thought or who's from Wisconsin, go to the Wisconsin. Hey, I'm in LA and I'm from Wisconsin doing a show. Woohoo! They're gonna write a little article about you, and then you can put that out. So
You're not
I
wrong.
saw that. Here you go.
It's true.
Little local news too.
Yeah.
My name is Anthony Rucker. I have a show, Dear James. It is a poetry, multimedia, interactive, immersive experience where I talk to the spirit of James Baldwin and work out politics, being black and stuff in America. And I'm also a therapist, so I'm doing a hour and a half intensive workshop entitled Anxiety is Not Forever. And it's the techniques I use to deal with people with very intense trauma and grief to help them get through anxiety. So I have a question. I've done the show before, and I have reviews, and like video testimony from people. Can I take those from previous places and put those up on the website, or is it only for people who've seen stuff during Fringe?
It's like, yeah, you can use that, yeah, and you can post that on your show page. Yeah, absolutely.
So, because when I went up there, they said reviews won't be allowed to a certain point. So when would I be able to begin putting those up on the
So
site?
the reviews are only for once your show has actually been seen. But
Okay.
you can put them on your project page or,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, like in the description of your show, on your show page.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I think we have one up here.
Okay. Now, actually, I have a question because I have from my previous show we had on March 24th, two news channel, they covered us, but it's a video. How can I, is there any way I can, and by the way, my name is Nakta and my show called Tehrangeles is the story of how Iranian community was created in Los Angeles. And so is there any way to have those videos of my show on website?
Yes, and here comes Ellen.
Hi, sorry. Lois and I are here now.
Welcome, everybody. Lois.
Sorry, we were double booked tonight, our staff. So when you go into your project page, so any prior press or any prior reviews, you're going to want to put in your project description, which is that long description. And then any videos can go as media. So if you want to do a screen recording, this is really like a kind of hack. You could then put it as, how you have your profile picture, you have your main profile picture, and then you have your swipe throughs. So you could always add that media as like a swipe through there. And you can also link to it. So anything in that page acts like, remember MySpace and there was like HTML and you had to make your own little hyperlinks? It's like that, baby. This is your MySpace page. So use it as such. And that's how you're going to be able to put that kind of media into that page. It is editable. Nothing that you put there, unless it is against our code of conduct, is going to be asked to be taken down. And that's only if it's hateful. So.
We had a question. I know. We had a question about if the. I'm just gonna let you ask a question.
Hi, again, my name is Becca Lescart, and my show is Dear... Oh, okay, because I get to show off the fur coat. It's not the whole costume. It's not like Abel. Hello. My name is Becca Lescart, and my show is Dear on TV. It's very awkward. I'm a New York City dating advice columnist, and it's based on my actual Aunt Brenda. Okay, so here's my question. As far as comp requests for the show, comp requests for the show go, is there a way to make sure that someone else on my team is getting those requests? Does it have to do with the same, you have to change the administrator situation? Okay, great. And is there a number of times capping how you go back and forth? Okay.
The only important thing, no, there's no cap, go back and forth, but recognize that at the end of the festival, whoever is the primary gets the money. So that's the time frame. Like by the time you hit the last day of the festival, you're going to want to make sure the primary is the person who should be getting the money. Yeah.
You've got that.
Yeah.
Mic. There's the third mic.
Go ahead.
Hello, I'm German Anselmo. I am a cast member of Casa Fuego, a show about Latinx families. My question on behalf of our cast is because some of us are international actors, like from another country that are working here. We talked to another production, Nora and Jim, that's also part of this festival. They have Irish actors that were flown in, and they mentioned something about like international shows being a category that we could submit under. I didn't get any information past that. Do you guys have any clarification on that?
Yeah. So we do have the international category. So I'm sure Carly already covered the like award categories, right? The category that your show is under in the guide, and then awards. So the international is one of those bonus categories, just like world premiere, best of. So international is one of those. So if you check the little box when you register, which can still be changed, that says international, check that box. You will now be in the nomination category for Best International Work at the Hollywood Fringe. But it should be noted, it's not like one of my actors happens to not be from the U.S. It's more of like, did the show come from, like we have shows that travel from Japan or from other countries. So that is what that category is intended for, not
Gotcha.
necessarily.
Like the whole cast kind of like coming from it. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And especially like the main production team, the writer, the director, the playwright being international. And it's really to help support people who are paying thousands upon thousands of dollars to come to this festival, to have that extra opportunity. And make sure you can always update your country of origin as well. I think that's really important too, because that's how we pull information. And that's also a great way for us to be able to kind of flag where people are coming from. Because to be clear, 90% of Hollywood Fringe is local. 90% of Los Angeles are from Los Angeles County. And so it really represents only about 2% of our festival is international, and about between 2 and 5% are international, and between like 3 and 8% are national from outside of Los Angeles County. So it's really that little boost for those people, and to make sure that there's also it's a visa thing. It's multiple reasons.
That's why, yeah, we asked that as well. Thank you.
Thanks for doing the running around, Happy.
Hi. Well, I have 2 questions now. So I'm from Germany, but I live here. Like, would I qualify for international or no? So I've technically live here now.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, am I sitting and like Instagram stalking every one of you that is clicked the international category? I am not. I do not have that time, and we're not trying to like overly like put barriers on this. I'm going to name like use your best judgment.
Okay.
And because again, like with the reasoning and understanding of like meant for shows that are spending a lot of money, who mostly can't take money for their shows too. Like it's not work visas, but coming and performing for free under an international competition category. So it's very much to uplift those shows that are spending a lot of money to get here.
Okay, yeah. That's
And
what I thought.
Yeah.
And the
That's a
other
great
one was,
question.
you mentioned the primary person gets the money in the end. Are we supposed to put our bank details somewhere on the
We are gonna go through that. So maybe we should continue on with our scripts. So sorry we're late, but we're gonna continue on with just a couple more categories, and then we're gonna have a plethora of time for more questions, because we know more questions are gonna come up. So at least 30 more minutes worth of time for questions too. We really quickly want to go through safety. Safety is really important to us. We love you all. And we want you to be safe this festival season. Safety is not only something to be mindful of for yourself, but also for your cast and your crew. And as our primary producers, we really want to like impress upon you all to have plans to walk people to their cars at night. If y'all are staying out late seeing shows, make sure that you're traveling with each other and that you're keeping each other safe, because community keeps each other safe, right? And so it's really, really important that we are that we're having fun together and that we're never leaving anybody behind, right? Because we're all going out after our shows. People are going to bars or going to go see shows until midnight. And some people aren't used to the city as well. So we're going to have like international folks that are around. We're going to have people who are traveling in. So please be a welcoming community member. If you're seeing a show with a pal, be like, how are you getting to your car? We walk together. If you come to Fringe Central, we'll walk you to your car. A lot of our venues will do that for you as well. So if you're alone and you're like, I want to be with somebody, please ask somebody. And the community is really giving with that. Take care of each other. This is your community, and we're all responsible for making this feel like that. And so if somebody is really like having this emergency and you have the capacity to help them, and you're like, you need a box office person? Fuck, I have 20 minutes. Please help them, because you know what's going to come back to you is when you have that 20 minutes that you need somebody, they're going to be like, They helped me and they're going to help you. And I think that we're all coming from this like very underfunded place in the arts, right? So none of the organizations that work with Fringe, none of the venues have plethora of teams. Some of them only have one full-time staff member. I would say that most of them only have one full-time staff member. And so it's really this like community built thing in resistance to how our funding structures are to be able to make theater right now. And so it's really important that we are all kind of coming at it from that mindset and being patient with each other. We don't want to like scare anybody, but we also want to be like, let's like name this because it fucking sucks. And it sucks for you. Yeah. Like you all deserve more than this. You all deserve to have somebody who's like sitting here producing your show, thinking of everything for you. And all of our venues deserve to have that support as well. And our team deserves that too. Lois and I just became full-time last year. We're playing catch up for many years of not having a full-time staff. And we're the only full-time staff members at Fringe. And so it's really small. And the truth is that a lot of our awards presenters are that size too. And a lot of these places that we look up to in the theater community are that size too. And that's why we are so excited that Fringe becomes this like vibrant scene, that the scene should be all year round, right? Because really, honestly, that shouldn't be the case. All of our theater companies deserve to have so much more funding. And like, we're working on advocacy. We're trying to be there with y'all and trying to make sure that we have those changes coming through. And that's some of our funding programs are working on that. We're working to expand that. But I just want to name that at the top of this because I think that's really important. And we also want to name that you're going to get tired. You're going to get frustrated. And it's going to suck. But no small children are being harmed. It's just a fucking theater festival.
Do we tell the story of what just happened to us to make everyone feel better?
Yeah.
So we're late, obviously. And if you don't know everyone, I'm Lois, she, her pronouns, co-festival director with Ellen.
She, they pronouns, co-festival director.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I ever even introduced myself. I just like got straight into it. I'm Carly, the communications director, she, her pronouns. Oh, I don't think I did. It's really lonely being up here by yourself. Well, I'm with a friend, but like you know what I mean? It's like, yeah.
And like
thank you all for being so nice to me when I was by myself.
And we're talking about capacity, right? And so like, and we're at this point, y'all, like what you do is scary. You are artists. You are so giving of what is inside, like the facet of your person. That is a vulnerable thing. And it is hard to do emotionally and physically. And so it's important to remember that like, as we're feeling that you do have to take that second of like, okay, it's okay, I'm gonna make mistakes because I'm human and I am at capacity. And so like to tell the story that hopefully will make you feel a little better, we had a soft open. We're trying to open this Fringe Central space a month before the festival, which was a good idea in theory, and now we're very, very tired. But did our team lock all of our things in the office and none of us have a key?
During our donor event.
I don't get to go home tonight. But and it's fine. We're like locksmiths. It's all fine. But like at the end of the day, like, okay, that's what happens when you're stressed and you're not thinking, right? And so be graceful. We're being graceful with ourselves because we locked all of our stuff in a room, and it happens. So to remind you that we all make mistakes, and if you don't make any mistakes, give me notes. How did you do it? But it's okay if you do.
Yeah. Yay. Honest and kind communication is going to be so key for you and your teams, and also naming when you're at capacity. And so just telling somebody, hey, I'm at capacity right now. I would normally respond to this differently. This is my thought in draft is like an okay thing to say when you're really at capacity, right? Like there's ways to communicate to people, including the techs that you're working with, including the people that are in your venue space, including your crew, that can name where you're at without making them feel like you're mad at them or like there's problems or there's drama. We don't have fucking time for that. And the truth is that none of you want that either. And so I think like making sure that you are like checking in and with your own capacities. And when you need a second, just be like, can I take a break for 5 minutes? I'm going to just really quickly go. I'm going to just go cry for a second. I'll be right back. And it's okay. It's going to happen. Okay. And the best part about it is that you're not alone. You're not the only one who's feeling that way. You have thousands of artists here that are feeling that exact same way. It is not fair. It is not how it should be, but we're making art in spite of it.
Fringe support.
Yeah. Fringe support. Yes, I know. This is the deep breath workshop, right? Like when I'm talking about all of like, okay, awards and all the exciting stuff, but
Fun
also
things.
like, yeah, then take a breath and appreciate the moment. So support. Remember that we are here to help. We're not going anywhere. And so remember that support at HollywoodFringe.org is your new best Fringe pal if you haven't already used the resource. If you have, please continue to. We want to help make the journey lighter. And that email is going to be a great resource to do so. Also come to office hours, like Ellen was saying. So every Wednesday, and starting the 15th is coming up Wednesday, they will be at Fringe Central. And, we might even have the ability to get into our office, which is going to be awesome. But come and be with each other. And so that you can be like, oh my God, you're stressed about that too? Okay, like it already feels better knowing I'm not alone. So come and have those accountability buddies and have the support system. That's the beauty of Fringe. It's a platform for art, of course, but it's also a community. That's the strength of Fringe. So come every Wednesday, 7 to 10 p.m. at Fringe Central, right over at the Ovation Center. You can find out more at HollywoodFringe.org/central about where that location is exactly. Also, our participant packet. I'm going to keep, it is my thing. Like that is like, I need a shirt that says you've read the participant packet. Who's read the participant packet? Oh, hell yeah. Okay, a few of you I see have homework. That's okay. It's a little light reading, 60 pages, but it really is built to give you all of those, like the things, because we talk at you for hours at these town halls, but those are going to have, or that packet is going to have every bit of the information that we've collected over 14 years in one space to make sure you have your hand. We're going to take questions a little bit because we're almost done with our spiel. But it has all of the information: ticketing, marketing, discounts. You have videographer and live stream discounts if you're looking for help to help bring your show to the next level. All of those things in the packet. There's also the support.
www.hollywoodfringe.org/participants.
Plural
with an S.
Yes. So definitely check that out. And again, but if you don't remember that link later, email support@hollywoodfringe.org and we will gladly send that link over to you. And then come to events. You're here today, so congratulations. You're already diving in, and you will see the value of that during the festival. You will see the experience you have. Like we said it at the last, or you weren't there, but we talked about it at the last workshop. But I talked about you. That's why. But Ellen and I say every time, like there's always a couple people at the end of the festival, and I'm going to speak really honestly to you, but we get an email and they're like, you know what? I had a shit experience. Fringe was nothing like I thought it would be. I sold no tickets and had a horrible time. And I have no idea who they are.
Problem.
And it's because they didn't come to events. They didn't take a single workshop or show up at Fringe Central, or they didn't participate in the community. And not to say that is the only way to succeed. It's not. But you do have to make sure you have an audience and a community to pull into your show if you're not going to dive into the festival. And so like you're here. You're doing it right. You were coming. Congratulations. Like thank you for diving in, and you will see the benefits of that come June. Those are the resources. So just you have another
marketing. So there's our, so if you're like, how do I market my show? We have a whole blog with artist resources, how to market through the festival. So we have like our busking program. We have our volunteer and donor discount code list where you can offer a 25% discount and get on a list of shows that is sent out on a regular basis. There's like all of these different kind of plugins, and it's on the blog, which has been sent in your newsletter many times. If you're not reading your newsletter, you are going to be lost. It is imperative at this moment that you add newsletters at hollywoodfringe.org to your contact list, that you read every Wednesday's updates, because they have been chock full of information. If you're like, oh no, I haven't done that, don't worry, we got you. hollywoodfringe.org/news. Catch up on all the highlights there.
Yeah. And in fact, tomorrow you're getting a very important newsletter. So sneak peek, because again, y'all showed up. You're doing it right. We're sending out the guide proof. This is not your chance to send, I really wish I put this in the description, or I forgot an apostrophe in my title. This is my listing is not there. My daily performance is not there. So you'll have 24 hours tomorrow once this newsletter goes out to double check. Because again, we're human. We make mistakes. And sometimes in formatting with hundreds of shows, if one gets clipped and we don't notice it, we need all of y'all's eyes because my eyes cannot audit hundreds of shows. I will mess up. So make sure you're checking those newsletters tomorrow to get that. And then the sponsored drink is also one, so check it earlier than later. The deadline is tomorrow. The last chance to bid on a sponsored drink if you're looking for a more boozy marketing opportunity. Sponsored drink, yeah. Yeah, exactly. But we're showcasing 3 shows at the opening night party. So they're drinks created in celebration of your show. So basically, you bid on drinks. The 3 highest bids will get to have those drinks, and our mixologists will create a drink entirely for your show. We ask you questions like, what are your favorite colors, or what colors are in the theme of your drink? What kind of base alcohol do you like? Or mocktail. And give us kind of like a rundown of your show, and they'll create something that is entirely original to your show. So that closes tomorrow at, I believe, midnight. So check that out. .org/marketing is the quick link over to the Artist Opportunities blog. All right. Shall we talk about money?
Yes.
Money's important. Yeah, because we started to touch on it, right? Settlement. So let's pretend we're at June 30th. The festival has wrapped. We've taken deep breaths.
July 1st.
Technically, yes, that is true, because we're doing the awards on July 1st. So July 1st, we've had awards. We're all celebrating because we made it and still are not sick because we've rested and we've hydrated and we've taken care of ourselves and we're feeling so good. And now where do we get money on all of those ticket sales? So at that time, it'll probably be, honestly, July 2nd. July 2nd, you will get an email. Another reason to save newsletters, because you will get that same email that tells you how to request a check. So you get paid out via check. Any money that was paid on the Fringe website, anyone who bought tickets for your show on the Fringe website, goes back to you 100%. We do not take a cut of anything. It gets directly sent to you. In order to get that money, we send out an email asking you to fill out a request form that basically gives us your most current address, because people move and we want to make sure we have accurate information. You will fill out your current address, the name the check should be written out to, and let us know about the box office sales that we cannot account for. That just helps us with an annual report. That's how we're able to really look at the festival data and make the festival better, because we know what's happening, and also let participants next year know how the festival went so they can make educated decisions. So that information is really important. So if you have an in-person box office and maybe you sold some tickets on a third-party website, maybe you used Eventbrite for 50% of your tickets, that form is where you're going to tell us how many tickets you sold. So if you can keep track of that during the process, that would be awesome. If you guess a little bit, that's going to be fine, but it does really help us to know that an additional 40 tickets were sold outside of our website. And then you get paid. A check is sent right after. And then about a week later, it usually is about 7 days, because the UPS is not the quickest machine in the world. It's not. So a week later, but know that all happens right after the festival closes, I think.
And make sure you're not too tired when you're doing it, because we really need your address to be 100% accurate.
Apartment numbers every time.
Yeah. Include your apartment number. Make sure if you have, for instance, if you're like, oh, my mail is a little bit weird, maybe send it to your best friend. Maybe just make sure it's going to a secure location, and that will make sure that you get paid out on time. Because we want to pay you really bad. We just need to make sure it goes through this process so that it's accurate.
Yeah, that's
it. That's it. Now we're gonna ask. Now we're here for questions.
Yeah.
Because I know that there's a lot, and we're here for them.
I'll be back.
Thank you. So Jackie Yang Yan, hold me down. My question is, so I signed up for the things on the blog, and I was just wondering when we're going to hear back about the busking time slot, the the lightning round time slots, things like that. Are you guys going to give us a slot, or do we just show up at the start of that shift?
I know the busking thing. Yeah. So busking, it's the time slot you signed up for. Like when you clicked a little box, that is your time slot. Yeah. But we'll check in with Roddy and make sure everyone gets a reminder email, because that's happening this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. The lightning round. Yeah. The lightning round. Sorry. And busking follow-ups are going to happen shortly as well.
Okay.
We'll make sure that everybody gets an email by tomorrow for Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, thanks, because I don't remember what I put.
Don't worry. Lightning round is easy to move.
Hi, how are you? I'm Jordan Moncada from Casa Fuego as well. I'm here with my co-stars. So my question is the next one. I am very interested about the awards, and so this is my question. How can we be part of, for example, I was talking today with my co-star about it, and we would like to become award presenters, like those guys who's presenting the category. So is there like any chance like we all can be part of that, or like it's gonna be the people from last year, or like is there any submission a part of everything that we can be part of the event? So it could be a really good way to interacting with everyone. Plus, if you guys want to have one of your best experience in one of the shows, you should follow us Casa Fuego on Instagram. So you guys gonna love everything that we're posting.
Okay, yes. So we have information on how to sponsor or how to present a Discover Fringer award. There are all sorts of requirements and stuff, but the link, it's been in our recent newsletters, our like more general newsletters, not our participant specific newsletters, but there's an entire Supportal post. I think it's on the Supportal about how to present a Discover Fringe Award and what the requirements are and what you would need to do in order to do that. So if you're interested in being a presenter, you can go to the Supportal and type in Discover Fringe Award, and that will come up and you can see all the requirements.
Fun tip, because I know the website, there's so many different things, right? Like if anything, the participant packet is 60 pages. The Supportal is 100 articles. Hot tip, Google anything like Hollywood Fringe Award, Hollywood Fringe participant packet. Like if you Google any of the things you're trying to find, you're going to find it. The staff does it all the time because we can't find their own articles.
It's true. I do want to mention that this year's applications are technically closed. That being said, if you want to submit something, we are still accepting applications. We just won't be like going through as quickly with them because we have already gone through like our major ones. So it would go out in a separate announcement. And so like the major requirements are that you have to have an LLC. So it has to be a company. So if you have a theater company, it's totally valid. And it can't be like best of, pick of, and then fringe. It can't have like fringe in the title because we have those fringe awards that come from the organization. And then you have to just kind of tell us your methodology on how you're going to present it. And then we do ask with our award presenters that there is a attachment of some sort of value for the artist. So for some people that's consulting sessions or things like that. And then for some people it's promotional packages like, oh, I have this like whole promotional thing I did. Like there's a theater podcast that's done an award before where they get this whole like promotional thing. And then sometimes it's like extended runs and things like that. And with extended runs, our requirements are that there's a 50-50 split or better for the artist and that there's no minimum except for a tech requirement. Like you can say like, you have to pay out the tech. But other than that, no minimums because it's an award.
Which, did you tease any of our like super cool like partner awards this year?
I said that there are some for writing. I said that there are some. No, I didn't.
Oh, should we do a little teasing? I mean, like at least the partner ones where we're like, so like we've been working with a lot of other Fringe festivals around the world. So this year we can officially say that an artist from Hollywood Fringe is going to be chosen to have the opportunity to travel to Italia Off Fringe, which would be a tour to Milano and Catania. The artist will have the choice to do both or one of. And these awards cover everything from like the venue, the registration. You would just have to have travel. So if you're an artist already looking to tour, that's where these awards are really helpful. Like I'm already wanting to take my show on the road. Now I can do so at a much cheaper rate. We also have Adelaide Fringe for the first time. We're really excited to partner with the second largest fringe in the world. And an artist will get a cash bursary to help them go to Adelaide Fringe, in addition to free registration and mentorship and marketing perks at that festival. And then Denver Fringe is a new partnership this year. So if you're looking for more of a national tour opportunity, they're offering free venue registration, marketing, and tech and box support as a guest artist in their festival. And then Sydney Fringe is our fourth. We've been working with them for a couple of years. We have an artist who's just about to go to Sydney Fringe this year after winning an award, but that also comes with a free venue space, free registration, like special artist support. And we're really excited to just start to like connect our world through art, connect art globally in that way.
Yeah, I told you there were really cool things coming up. I kept saying they're really, really cool. Look in your email.
Yeah.
I'm really good at keeping.
Very good.
Hi, Karen Hall, Delusions and Grandeur, a solo cello recital meets a clown show. I have two quick questions. One, how many printed copies of the guide are being made?
2,500.
Okay. And then second question, last year for opening night, I know like you had artists submit for industry press, but now you're saying there's like a volunteer immersive thing that artists can do. Is there a difference between the two?
We're not doing that.
Oh, yeah, like last year, sometimes you pivot. So it's going to be a little different. Last year was more performance based. And I will just name it. A lot of it is just numbers. The opening night, like y'all, there are so many shows this year. We are going to be packed, like elbow to elbow. So there's just really not space for those activations like we've had in the past. But we do have a fun little, like I am going to keep some secrets here, but a fun little red carpet activation that if some artists are wanting to come play, less about like not doing their show necessarily, but just come play in the world of immersive art, we're going to have some fun with a red carpet activation.
Also, everybody comes to opening night in their costume. Like if you want to go and like if that's fun to you, then do it. Other people come in like ball gowns. Like I probably will go somewhere in between that. But like so it's really like whatever you want to kind of do. It's you showing off like your quirkiest self and being like really tapping into how you want to show up to that event. And it's just a fucking fun party. Like the whole point is to take one night and be like, I'm kind of like networking and doing things, but really I'm building community. I'm having fun with my friends. I'm having mocktails and cocktails. I'm talking to people about things that about my show, but also just not about your show. Just taking one night for you all together.
And then, but I will say, if you plan on taking a lot of pictures with your cast, check like color coordination. There was one year Ellen and I looked like ketchup and fucking mustard the entire night.
And then we have to use the photos.
It's true. It wasn't good.
Okay, I'm sorry. It was also that I was wearing a gown and she was wearing a blazer and jeans, and it just did not work. It was not blended.
That was an entirely unnecessary side note, but that's what we do.
Yes, my question is for ketchup. My name is Abel. My show is Kosher Salt. It's about anti-Semitism. My pronouns are and oi. I look like a lizard. That's the joke. Okay. So I was trying to upload videos, and they're like YouTube stories, and it wasn't working. Is there a reason? YouTube Shorts. What are the kids? Verticals.
No, it's actually it's a good question. You're not alone on this answer.
My question was for ketchup.
Mustard knows the answer.
This is a fun game we're gonna play. This back and forth. No, so the little, and I don't know the technical term, so I'm gonna explain in pictures. But the share button where you actually like share the link, it's a little like paper airplane. Yeah, use that link, not the hyperlink up top. Thank you. Yeah. 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 Airplane,
Thank you, Relish.
not URL.
Do is you need to click on the right arrow that looks like a paper airplane to send. Right, but it's just an arrow to the right. And when you do that, another window will pop up, and you copy that shorter because it's a shorter URL than the one that's actually in the YouTube URL on the top of the screen.
And that one will work.
That one will populate. That's what she's saying. Yeah.
It can be. It's just about the link. You got a paper airplane.
Yeah.
If we've learned anything today, it's paper airplanes.
Howdy, Liza Dealey Thomason, Supernova, Spiritual Death of a Hot Mess. My question is specifically, I went to the website when you listed off the auction for the drink as it's closing tomorrow. And I just wanted to kind of ask a question of, I see two prices. One, it looks like you can buy outright for $500, and then the numbers that are listed above on the three different categories, is that just where the bid is at right now?
Yeah, correct. So if you don't want to like sit up and wait for it to close, you can outright bid it at $5, or bid on those three. You can on the auction site that we use. You can set reminders. So if you're like, you want to be alerted when somebody outbids you, you can do that, or you can just like soft toss it and see how it goes.
Oh, perfect. And then I just want to acknowledge, like, y'all are doing amazing, and I've been in 4 festivals previously, and like the community and camaraderie of like Hollywood Festival is insane. Like there's so much support. So even though I've missed a lot of the deadlines, because I was at said 4 festivals and did not realize the timing of that. Thank you. I feel really empowered that there's still so much I can do to be a part of this, and I'm showing up to the office hours, and I just really thank you. It's hard to believe that the team is so small with what you guys accomplish.
Thank you. Oh, y'all. It is our honor.
Nakta, you're again evangelist, and thank you guys for everything. Question: I had my show, but in Farsi for Persian New Year Festival. But this is the first time that we made some changes. We add some scenes, and we turned it to English for international audiences. And does it make it world premiere or?
I think it's super subjective, and we're not going through and looking for what has this been published, has this been that. It's up to you. I think it depends on does this feel like the real, is this a new show to you? Then you can click that, and if it doesn't, then don't.
Okay. Yeah. And well, when was that party, the opening? And he's asking about the after party. Yeah, we're really concerned about the parties. Yes. Yes.
So after the awards, usually there's venues will do little pop-up parties in addition to because ours ends at 11 because we want to go to bed. And the truth is that because our team is usually on site, the awards day, our ballots close at 10 a.m. So our team is going through and auditing everything and making sure that all of the technology works, and then putting it all into the system, and then writing all the cue cards, and then teching the show and doing all that all day. So we end our party at 11. That being said, usually every year there's after parties that happen with and we'll put an announcement, and then we'll also say it at the end of the award ceremony where you're just go here, go there. And then our team shows up because we end up rallying. But the truth is that we just are not planning one because fuck that. We want other people to make money.
Yeah. What about the one I'm going to wear my gown?
Opening night and the awards ceremony are both at the LA LGBT Center. And so we have our opening night party is on Wednesday, June 12th. And then our award ceremony is on Monday, July 1st. So it's the day after the festival. That way everybody can have their last show. And then award voting closes 10 a.m. on Monday.
Thanks so much.
And remember, the fun thing is all these office hours. We've done, St. Felix, The Plunge, 3 Clubs. All of these become your home bases. These bars are you go to Plunge in August, and there's fringers everywhere. These are theater bars. So you really these are absolutely places where friends, LA LGBT Center is closing, and everyone shows up at 3 Clubs or at Plunge. So.
Hi, my name is Janya, doing a show called Convenience. My question is basically, it's a solo show. I'm all alone. People are helping me, but they're just part-time. I've been showing up at office hours and looking through the website, and there's so many shows that are so wonderful and they look like I want to go to, but I can't make it I can't make it to all of them, and I've met these people and I really want to support them. Any tips on if you can't make it to a show but you really want to support the artist and spread the word, how you can do it to support these people?
So what's so cool is at the end of your show you make these friendships, and you're going to be please review me. Also, you can tell, with other people, be I'm going to talk about your show, you talk about mine. So you can, at the end of your show, be okay, there are these 4 shows I can recommend. They are this, this, and this, and name them at the end of your show. You can put them in your programs. You can do, little program ad swaps. You can do social media, collaborations, where you can collaborate between your 2 accounts. There are so many ways that you can use each other's networks, and start thinking about those. In our marketing workshop, there was a lot of talk about that, and it's really about those collaborative things. Also, 90% of people are local to Los Angeles County, which means 90% of people will be doing their show again in Los Angeles County. So that collaboration doesn't end after Fringe ends. It's so cool to be able to, in July, say that your social media is a little bit dead and somebody has a show. you can be like, I'll promote yours. And then guess what? When you have a show in November, they're going to be like, I'll do that again. And you can really start to build in these like built-in audiences. It's like, so when like 2016, there was like this little immersive scene that started to burgeon in LA. And it really started to burgeon here because they were making all of these connections here. And then in 2019, we started to have all these clowns show up. And there's this whole clown scene that's come out of it. And like, I don't know what the next thing's going to be, but there's going to be a next thing too. And I think that that's what's really special is finding your people here, finding your people that have similar audiences and building audience together. And that really takes one-to-one grassroots marketing. And so know that like most things that are being sold at Fringe are done through word of mouth and are done through free things. They're done by doing creative things with your fellow fringers to make your shows exciting to the larger public. We're marketing this huge festival to a lot of people, but really it's going to be connections that you and the people around you are making that builds up the Fringe audience every year.
And yeah, the shows will continue. So many of you. I mean, I'm still like, Laser's doing a show, like his show again right now, and it was from last Fringe. Like I catch more shows from Fringe years after. Years. Like that's when I finally catch Fringe shows.
I saw a show from 2019 to like 2023. It happened. Yeah. And we will go see your show. Also, if we don't see your show during Fringe, just invite us. We'll go.
We will do our absolute best.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, there's not all we can always do. But like, we try to go as much as we can to consider our venues trying to do that. Everybody, it doesn't end.
I mean, if you really wanted to, you're allowed to leave. This is not a cult. But most people don't. Ketchup, not here. Not here.
Next. Question.
Hi everyone, my name is Ana Karina. I'm doing Baby Rock. It's a bilingual children's musical. It's super about breaking language barriers and teaching kids that difference makes us, they should be celebrated. I have two questions. One is about pricing. I'm sorry if you already went like through it in another one. I'm a bit confused with like the participant price. Is that just for like people that are registered on the Fringe page, or is everyone that is like cast members and your crew, or how?
Yeah, as long as they are added, your crew or cast is added to your Fringe page, they are automatically considered a participant. So they are going to automatically see those discounts. It's magical. It just happens. But if they're not listed, you want to make sure to do that, because then they can get that $3 button. They can get the participant discounts. There's so many like things they can be included in if they are.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And the Fringe button, that would be a different one. That would not make them participants.
Yes. So there's the buttons and the participants. There's so many things. So like if you go like general price, that's going to be everybody, regular, Joe Bob, who doesn't have any involvement in Fringe but is going to see shows. Yay, we love him because he helps us all pay the bills, right? We need them. Then you have your participant, and that's if you do want to give a cheaper price for your fellow community members, that is that price. And then the button discount, that is something that just across the board, anyone who purchases a Fringe button, either the participant one or the general, is getting $1 off every ticket. And that's only for one ticket per performance. So it's not like someone can go in and get a bunch of money off with a crew of 50 with their one button. So it is limited to one seat at one performance per person for each show.
And remember, where can you pick up your buttons?
Fringe Central.
And where's office hours next week? Fringe Central.
It's called the community price. Community price too. The button price is community price, so it won't say button price. It says community price.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ravanya, said like lasagna. My one-woman show is called This Is Very Important. Life, love, sex, relationships, and status. It takes you on a journey about 3 women who contracted HIV during different eras of the epidemic when it first hit in the 90s and current day. Oh, my participant price is $5. Come see my show. My question is, those amazing partnerships, do they have people local that are coming to the shows, or do we have to like stream?
Oh, so right. With those, no, we work with those festivals very closely. So we help we have a group of adjudicators that are going to shows. So we're working, like, you're not necessarily emailing Adelaide directly, but we have a group of people that are going out to see all of the shows. So basically with those, like Carly talked about applying, these are those awards that you have to apply for. So once those applications come through, we have a group of judges that are going to all of these shows to put together a short list based on what that festival is looking for and what would do well at that festival. And so, like especially with these other festivals, the touring festivals, it's hard enough to sell tickets in your own damn city, right? So what these festivals are looking for are, of course, shows that are going to do well. And these are all different countries. So like for the Italian Fringe, for example, it's going to be something that's important to be like nonverbal in a lot of ways, or at least not reliant on language, because that is a barrier in Italy for a show coming through. So they have a very specific thing they're looking for. In Adelaide, like clown does really well, comedy and circus. And so like they're going to be looking for something that will do well so that they make money. Additionally, and like Sydney's way more theater, a lot of like two-handers and like classic theater. But they're looking for good producers, and so like that's information that they're asking us, and like are these artists ready to travel? These are big things, so I think that's something to note too, right? Because you never know who's a judge. You never know who's in the room. Like I think we've all learned that, right? Our reputations are 5 feet ahead of us, and so you might be at office hours talking to somebody who's really cool, and they're a judge, and you're telling them about like how awful your experience is and how, or like, I don't really care about it. I'm not worried about ticket sales. It's all going to be fine. Like you don't know who you're talking to, because part of that is if you're going to another country to represent Hollywood Fringe in a lot of ways, right? You have to be a good producer on top of have a brilliant show. Of course, you all have brilliant shows, but are you ready to hustle? And are you like good to work with, right? I hate it, but like that's how the world works. If you're a pleasant person to be around, you will get work and it's important. So those are all factors that go into that.
That being said, you don't have to be like happy-go-lucky, like go into a space and be like, have a shit day and be like, I'm fine. Because that's also that's not real, and that's also not being a good producer. But it's about when conflict happens or when things happening, you're keeping like a cool tone and you're able to like navigate through challenges, because that's fucking theater. Like you're going to face challenges every day you're doing this, And so it's not necessarily about being like, and I'm great. Like that's not going to be what's going to make us be like, this person's ready. It's really going to be about, this person has like a track record of doing work. Like if it's your first time producing, it's likely that you're going to want to go for some of those more mid-tier awards, right? If you've never toured before, that doesn't mean you're not qualified. I mean, some people do their first show at Hollywood Fringe and you're like, you've never produced. Damn. But then some people you're like, okay, like maybe do a couple more things. So it's really about like kind of like deciding within yourself what you're ready for, applying and going after those couple of opportunities. And I'm sorry I'm going off track here, but like I think it's important for you guys to choose 2 goals right now. What are your 2 goals? When those awards come out, if one of those awards is going to be your goal, make that your goal. And everything else can come around from that. So your goals can be like selling out houses. Your goals can be getting good reviews. Remember that your audience reviews are sometimes more impressive than your press reviews, because LA theater press is hard. And there's not a lot of it. Like LA Times doesn't even really write about Fringe as a whole, let alone your show. Like that's going to be really, really hard to have happen. Not impossible. People do it all the time. But it's just like start to think about what these goals are, and like focus on one stretch goal and one that you can do, and go hard at those goals. Don't try and make it like, I'm going to sell out every show. I'm going to have 1 million press reviews. I'm going to get every award, because that's going to make you mad. And it's going to make you feel disappointed in yourself when you're making actually amazing things happening. Selling out a show is hard. If you sell out a show, you should be like, I sold out a show. You should be stoked, And so start taking those wins as big wins, because there's hundreds of you. There are thousands of artists that are doing this. And if you do this one thing that there's going to be people who don't even come close to that. And so you have to put it in perspective too.
Remember, like I said earlier, while awards are really, really exciting and such a fun part of the festival and something that can also be really nerve-wracking, they're not the entire experience. And so don't let awards take over your festival experience. Don't let that be all that you focus on or stress about, because there's so much more, like Ellen was saying, that you can do. And awards are a piece of a larger pie.
What did Malia say? the Festival Expectations workshop, we had 4 brilliant panelists, all who won just a ridiculous amount of awards. And all but one of them was just like, I forgot awards were a thing. It happened because they dove in, because they were a part of the process, right? That is almost like, oh, cherry on top. Okay, cool. But none of them really went in and went, this is my goal. They all were shocked by the end, but they got there because they just dug in and they said yes to the community, and the community said yes back.
Yeah, being nominated.
Like, there's a lot of things that are. Sorry, Haverty. I know I'm annoying, but it's all big.
And just remember too, just in this same conversation, I know I've said this several times, read the requirements and just make sure that you're going for things that you qualify for and that you are what that award or opportunity is looking for. Don't just apply for all of them en masse without reading the actual requirements. Or like you said, when you're opting in to meet with these industry people, make sure that your work is ready to be presented to them. Don't just send, like we were saying earlier, one blanket email to 50 people, because it happens.
And a lot of them are booking other work too. So even if you don't get this award, having a good rapport with them and building community is also maybe going to get you that award in a different time. Like, a lot of them are doing this. The things that they're offering out as awards are things they already do as an organization. And so it's really important that, like, when you're interacting with them, that you're remembering you're not only interacting with them for this opportunity, you're making a connection with that organization. And that's supposed to be a long-term connection.
I think we have time for one more question. But the good news is, where do we reach out if we have more after this? Oh, did we actually do it for the first time ever? We got through all the questions? Amazing. Y'all, thank you for being here in community with us. Thank you for letting us be late, and thank you for Carly for making it all happen. We had a moment. No, I'm just kidding.
Where do we reach out if we have more questions?
Oh, yes, perfect button. Thank you for that. Hollywood Fringe at, or no, support at hollywoodfringe.org.
Final reminders from me, from things that I've said a million times, but I've said so many things. Next week is when all of the awards are going to be available, so keep an eye on your emails, because that's all going to go up on the site. So look out for it next week. And then that opt-in form to have access to these industry contacts is going to come after that. So it's going to go awards first and then opt-in form. And just make sure, not only with the awards, but also with the opt-in form, just read all of the information, read it super thoroughly, read all those requirements and everything. That's all I have to say. Thank you. Oh, and the events at Fringe Central, May 23rd, May 30th, June 6th, June 27th. Be there or be square. Thank you.
Wiggle. Bye.
Happy Fringe.
We'll see you guys at office hours.